Hi Study, I'm here with a Pilates workout in the inverted position, which means taking your legs over your head. This was a request from the YouTube channel, the website. So as always with moves like this, you need to be cautious if you have any osteoporosis or if you've had any disc injuries in your cervical spine, your neck. I would say probably any disc injuries in your whole spine, but especially be cautious if you've had cervical spine injuries before. So I'm going to take you through a progression that is from easiest to hardest, and always stop along the way. If any part doesn't feel right, stop there, stay on that stage until it feels better, and then try the other variations. All right, here we go. We're going to start with a prep. It says no equipment necessary. So you lower yourself down onto your back. I'm just going to scoot down so I'm visible once I start to roll over. Nice deep breath. Contract those muscles in your core as you lift your legs. Now rollover prep you can do in tabletop, traditional tabletop, 90-90 at the hips and the knees, that is. Or you can slightly lengthen that tabletop out. I like this position. I prefer it for my hip flexors. I feel a little bit more relaxed in that area as I do this. And it's a little bit more user-friendly because of that for the lower back. So you're going to take your arms down by your sides. And as relaxed as you can be through your neck and shoulders. So instead of squeezing my arms by my sides, I've got kind of a little space here, a little soft horseshoe shape for my arms. Deep breath in. As you exhale, go ahead and start to contract. And it's a scooping in and up, trying to tilt the pelvis toward the ribs and curl the tailbone. Inhale to release and exhale to do it again. Now you might try turning your thumbs up, your pinky fingers down, pressing back with the backs of the arms and shoulders in an effort to keep from tensing through the upper part of the front part of the shoulder and the chest. It's not that we have no arms, right? We can't separate our core from our arms or any other part of us. They're all connected. Notice how small the movement is. This is not about getting your hips off the mat. Switch across to the ankles. Here's just an example to deepen the work. Float the arms off the mat 2 or so inches and keep going. So what I mean by deepening is that it's really much more focused, right? When I do this exercise with my arms down and I simply swing my legs, I won't feel much in my core, right? It's really more about momentum versus this one here. So I like the word zip or tail curl, right? Imprint is also a good cue. So you're imprinting your lower back into the mat as you do this motion. Good, hug it up. So you might do 8 to 16 of those just as a warm up. The next step I have is having the hips supported, lifted on a surface will make the transition into actually lifting and taking your legs over your head much easier. So I'm going to use a foam roller, but I've got a couple of other examples. This is a small yoga bolster, a pillow, right? Could you even use a couch cushion if they're small enough, or a yoga blanket that's rolled up. But I'm going to start out using a foam roller for my variation of this. I'm going to start with it underneath my hips. So lift your hips up onto that surface. And then contract the muscles of the core so you're strong, you're not overarching that back, right? The ribs are knit together and down, and lift the legs. So you can do the same thing you just did with your hips on the floor, just a tiny tail curl to begin. But what we're really going to work on here is I've undone the cross of my ankles, starting to add the weight of the legs. So I'm going to lower my legs down, which is hard to do without your back reacting, and then bring them towards me. And that same tail curl, which this time begins to peel my hips up off of the roller. Inhale here, and then exhale, roll the spine slowly back down to the roller. I'm going to take my legs and lower them Notice it's not so far the roller starts to react. It's not so far that my back starts to come unglued or my head comes off the floor. So it's an inhale to lower, exhale to hip hinge and bring the legs toward you. Then start to lift your hips overhead with the legs. Now I haven't gone so far that my voice shouldn't change very much. Right? I'm speaking up just to be heard, but it shouldn't be squeezing down on that cervical spine. Exhale to roll it out onto the roller, which supports us nicely, right? It's a real, it's just a really good variation of that. It brings the floor up. So the rollover feels more possible when you use a height. When you take it away, right, it is going to be harder. It's going to feel like the floor comes very quickly or gravity seems to act on your body a little more strongly. So I'm going to lower my legs, exhale to hip hinge, try that hip curl to lift my hips off the mat. Inhale to stay. Exhale, roll it out. A lot more abdominal control required there. So here's the variation that I was talking about. These were the requested variations on the website. These are called scissors in the air or bicycle in the air. I'm going to start with scissors. What we're going to do is place our hands on the small of the back to support that position, that rollover position, once we get into it. So here I am at my start. Inhale to lower, just a little. Exhale to come in, lift, and then place my hands. Now the trick is to have them there, but to not rely on them too much. So I don't want to get into a sunk position, but instead stay supported. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to scissor. Inhale, they pass each other. Exhale, scissor. Inhale and exhale. I'm just going to keep going. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Drop the legs overhead. They're parallel to the ceiling and floor. Arms come down. Exhale it, roll it out. Nice control. Return. Good, so that's scissors in the air is what we call it. The rollover position, as I said again, should be a perch that's on your thoracic spine. So you're basically on your shoulder girdle itself, not on your neck and head too much, right? So it's a little different from other positions that we might have done in our youth, say, or gymnastics or yoga. So the last variation I want to look at is the bicycling motion. So when the legs are overhead, we're going to bicycle them, basically. Inhale down, exhale hinge, and lift up. Place your hands for support. The first one is going to be the reaching leg is going to bend and cycle through. Bend and cycle it. Bend and cycle through. Inhale, bend and cycle through. Scissor, bend and cycle through. Reach them overhead, release the hands, and come on out. So that's one direction. It's not like any bicycle I've ever been on, right? So you're cycling only with one leg at a time. You scissor the legs, and then you bend one. And then you scissor, and you bend one. So because we bent one, and it was one direction, we're going to bend the other one. So this means that the leg that's closer to my face is going to start the bending cycle. Inhale, separate, exhale. You could do this exercise just like I am right now, right? Without going into that rollover position. Or you could. Up and over, place your hands for support at the small of your back. I'm going to inhale to cycle, and then I start with the leg that's closer to my face. Exhale, bend it, cycle it through. Inhale, exhale, start to bend it, start to cycle it, stretch as you inhale. Exhale, start to bend it. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. Now I've got it. Inhale. And then we're going to cycle them both through and roll it out. Coming all the way down. Hug your knees up to your chest, roll off to one side. Does provide a lot of stretching for your back. So I hope that that shows you a kind of a nice progression, a safe progression to get you into those rollover and inverted postures in Pilates. Let me know how it goes. Thanks for watching. Bye.